All right. Good afternoon, Malaysia. Uh, on behalf of Apnox and BitShield, a very big thank you to all of you for joining with us today and taking the time. It's an honor and, of course, a pleasure. Today, we are going to actually discuss, let's not call it, big things like webinars, seminars and all. We'll be discussing mobile app security across the different industry verticals, and how the real world threats and solutions are actually intervened with this mobile app security scenarios. And we are focusing on Malaysia with a solution from Appnox that actually uh, enables the industries to study the vulnerabilities and do the penetration testings, which is a vital part of app security nowadays. Uh, Karthik, if you can help me with the thing.
Yes,
If you
sure,
can,
Pravir.
yeah, if you can, I will be introducing you, of course.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So what you see on the screen is, well, it's quite flattering for me. Let me tell you, my name is Prabir. I'm the CEO of BitShield in Malaysia, and it's an honor, as I said, meeting you. And today we have the Apnox team with us also. Mr. Karthik is there, Nikita is there supporting from marketing team. So I've been in this industry for 30 years, and I've been into cybersecurity for a very long time. Uh, there's nothing much to say on this. I mean, we just speak about 30 years in the industry. That's, I think, all these pictures and all, it really it flatters me at times. I will not get into that. Rather, I would invite Mr. Karthik to introduce himself. So, Karthik, off to you. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, Pravir. Thank you so much for the introduction. It's always been a pleasure working with BitShield. And I would like to also thank the entire BitShield team and Appnox team for organizing this webinar session. So, hello everyone, once again. Very good afternoon to everyone, and thanks for taking time to join this session. And I'm pretty much sure that today's session is going to be very interesting. So to give a quick introduction about myself. So the name is Karthik, and I work as a consulting manager in mobile application security testing with AppNox. And I also take care of business alliances, managing small and enterprise accounts across APAC market. And to give a quick background on my professional side, so I've got around 10 plus years of experience working with multiple domains such as networking, IT support and server management, PLM, that is product lifecycle management, and of course, cybersecurity. So working with these many domains and organizations helped me to gain some experience and knowledge that around 80 to 90% of software companies are investing more in automation to secure their data and digital apps. And of course, that includes mobile application security. And this is actually a proof that safeguarding our digital interactions is not just essential, but it is also a priority. As you all know that we are living in the world of data. So yeah, and beyond emails, mobile devices are kind of prime targets as of now in this digital era. Even strongest defenses sometimes encounters vulnerabilities. And the resources in every organizations who are there to address mobile application threats are kind of in short supply. So in today's session, myself and Prabir will talk more about what are the real world security challenges and what are the actionable solutions to strengthen the mobile application security. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm just quickly moving on to the next slide to let Prabir talk about the agenda of this webinar session. Over to you, Prabir.
Thank you, Karthik. Well, you're the man today. as you must have heard, all of you, that he has the experience and the skills behind him, and Karthik is actually the man today. Uh, I will try not to make anything boring for you. So apart from this agenda stuff, I'll probably try to prepare the ground for Karthik to, to explain the solutions that Upnox has to offer and how this real world threat scenario actually works. So coming to the agenda, just to make it very simple, we are going to actually talk about real world security challenges that different industries are facing nowadays. Uh, Talk about actionable solutions, how regarding mobile app security, how they can be honest, actionable solutions. I would say. Then how do you face those challenges? Then we would also try to understand the importance of staying ahead of these emerging threats, because cybersecurity is not just about addressing a, a situation, but it's also preparing for future threats, or to be able to stay ahead of these threats in general, and also gain some insights into the industry experts with proven track records, how they work, where the trends are, and how it is moving forward. So this is an overall, actually, this today's discussion that we are going to have with you all. It's all about looking into mobile app security. It's different uh, flavors, and the aura behind it, how to actually manage this thing. It is a very important segment of IT operations nowadays. It's mobile apps are basically business today, so it's very important and crucial for us. So, Karthik, if I can go to the second slide and move fast with the basic, creating the background for you.
Yes,
Uh,
Prabir. And sorry
yeah,
to interrupt. I would like
please.
to just make a quick announcement before we step into the other part of the session.
Right. Yes, please.
So, team, so we'll be running a quiz program by end of this session. So we'll be having a
Great.
Q&A part just for a few couple of minutes. And the exciting news is we'll be putting some questionnaires where the top winners would get some prizes and offers. So it's
Wow.
gonna be, like I
Great.
said, yeah. So like I said, it's gonna be an interesting session today.
Okay.
So you can always keep your questions, and whenever you have questions, please make a note of it, and we'll have a discussion in the Q&A session. Happy to answer.
Yes, apart from the regular question and answers that you may be looking for or asking, this is a separate part where we have a quiz contest. Thanks a lot, Karthik, for announcing this thing. And
Thank you.
also there is a gift behind these. I mean, for the top three, right? So
Yes.
that would be very interesting. And that is a separate part. It's not related to the questions and answers that you may have, dear participants. So moving on, we have over here, as you can see on the screen, a display that shows the current landscape in Malaysia. This is from Media Threat Intelligence Report 2023, and you can see the different industries, the verticals from where these figures are coming. On the top, you have government. It's at 22%. And you have manufacturing industry, you have the IT, you have finance, science and education, and you have healthcare. So it's a very interesting portrayal of how the current landscape looks like for Malaysia particularly. These are all reports from breaches that have happened. Government leads by 22%, which is very alarming, and emphasizes on mobile application security, how important it is becoming. So we'll be sharing these slides and this information with you after the session. We'll send it to you by mail. But this can be a very interesting feedback to all of you when it comes to mobile application security. Karthik, if you can move forward. Yes.
Yes.
And this is about APAC region. This is potential security vulnerabilities in APAC region. And you can see the uh, attack methods actually here, that what kind of attacks are really happening across this region, this Asia Pacific region. you'll see that malware is still on the top at 57%. Then you have social engineering attacks. I'm sure all of you are aware of these attack methods. So social engineering is there, exploitation of vulnerabilities are there, credential compromise are there, supply chain compromise is there, and there are of course other different methods of attack. Interestingly, malware is still the most popular mode of attack, and social engineering, of course, is getting more and more popular and more dynamic from the cyber crime industry. So these are leading. Also, exploration of vulnerabilities has become very important. It's nearly reaching the social engineering status. So it's quite an alarming scenario looking across just the Asia Pacific region. We are not talking about Europe or the West or other countries here. It's particularly to our own region, our own zone. And we see our own house under attack now. So this is a very important graph sheet that you have, which shows where we stand and what kind of attacks we are actually facing nowadays. Karthik, and these are the types of malware that's actually active around Asia. You can see that you have the rats, you have ransomware attacks, you have spyware, you have loaders, you have miners, banking trojans. So you have a graph of what's happening, what kind of malware is actually in action or active in this region. Definitely, rats is very important. This remote control trojans, they have been a nuisance for a very long time, and it's always growing. It's part of our daily life now. For IT security people, it's just part of our daily life now, and it's really a nuisance, and it's growing and growing, and it's still the highest in numbers. Ransomware, of course, I'm sure no one needs to be reminded of this thing. Ransomware is growing and growing, and God knows where it stops. So these are the major, malware types that are engaged or involved in the attack methods. Uh, of course, as I said, you will be getting these slides over the email. So if the information is important for you, if it works or it helps you, we'll be very happy to that we could share this with you. Uh, when it comes to real world threats, what are the types of data stolen in successful attacks in organizations? That's always a question. What do they steal? It's not only about money anymore. That cybercrime industry has moved away from stealing money to stealing more of data. The scenario has changed. So what do they actually steal, or what the breaches are engaging in? What kind of things are they taking away from us? Of course, when they take data, they monetize on it, they sell it later on, but it's not directly like they're robbing a bank. It's more into data, and it's basically data now that they steal and what they sell. So the process of monetizing for the criminals have changed. And this is what the real world threats really look like. You see, 38% of the things that we lose over a breach or a cyber attack is actually personal data, and it's a highly sellable commodity in the dark web or in the cybercrime industry. We call it an industry nowadays. It's a full blown business module that they have. Personal data is selling, makes people victims, and we don't even sometimes realize where we have lost our identity and where we will be attacked or where we become a victim. Then, of course, there are trade secrets. 28%. That's business. I mean, they are actually selling or buying competition, and they're selling trade secrets, and it's out there in the open. Your business is at stake. It's not only your individual identity, your organizational trade secrets are out there on the web, and they're being sold and they're being traded. Then you have credential theft. That is again a very important thing. That's around 14% around this in the attack scenario, what they're taking away from us. Of course, payment card data that has been there for a very long time, it's still there, but it has reduced to that 3%, segment where personal data, trade secrets, and credentials have grown. There was a time when card data was a big issue. Everyone was worried about card data. It's not that exactly anymore. The scenario, the targets have changed. Then you have credentials. I mean, different sorts of credentials being stolen. These numbers are reducing, but the bigger chunk is actually coming from personal data, trade secrets, and credentials. So that's the trend, and that needs to be focused for the levels of protection that you're looking at. So, Karthik, if you can move on to the next. Here are some real life examples. I'm sure if you read the news or if you're going through Google looking for information on cybercrime, you probably see a news popping up every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Around this region, I'm sure everyone remembers this Vopak Vopak. There was this data breach in Malaysia that was big in the news. Then in Indonesia, there was this issue of the passport data, being stolen. Malaysia also had some over 2 years or something back. Loss of data was lost. Then there was this My Sejahtera data breach also that affected 3 million users. There was a big UN cry in the market about this thing. These are just one, two, three. Honestly, if you keep on filling this page up, we can go on for hours and hours trying to relate to different cases where such breaches have happened. These are just some of the, prominent ones or has been discussed in the market. These are just basic information, but definitely all of you are aware of this thing, what has happened in this market. Now, what happens when you have a security risk related to an app? What are the negative impacts if you get breached on your apps, right? Let's be very, very straightforward on this. Very simple. It's not rocket science. It's a clear issue of understanding. It's a business sense, and that's where it stands. The first thing that you do is you lose your reputation. If your app is compromised, the first thing that you lose as a company, you lose your reputation. Then, of course, what follows is financial losses because the data that is stolen gets manipulated over different strategies and platforms. And of course, there is financial loss related to it. Then you face this legal and regulatory bodies, you get fined, you get audited, and all these things start at the same time. On one hand, you have a problem, you have a breach, you're desperately trying to uh, recover from that and put a plug to that. At the same time, the regulatory bodies are also on your back trying to, you have to do the explanations and also face the audits and answer what really happened and what is the parameters of the damages that have happened. They will be asking questions. You're facing trouble from different angles at the same time. Then, of course, as you have a reputational damage, you definitely have a loss of customer trust. People lose faith in you. Your app is your business platform, and if people see that your app has been compromised, that their credentials have been compromised, definitely your customers would be not interested to interact on that app. It's very important to have that customer trust to be engaged in your app. And with a breach like an app breach, customers definitely don't want to engage with your app anymore. And of course, when you face a situation like a app, your app gets compromised, your entire business continuity is disrupted. It's a big blow because on that app, you're definitely doing business. And that business comes to a halt. To regain and to recover and to start, roll back into a business system or a process, it can be very challenging when you have a breach like this. So these are the negative impacts that happens when you have an app security breach or risk involved. And these are important aspects that why do you really need, mobile app security? These are basically, again, the common mobile app security risks involved. What happens when when we are talking about risks? We have data breaches, we have malwares and viruses coming in, we have insecure APIs, we have lack of encryption, inadequate authentication, and third-party integrations. So these are basically the common, points related to mobile app security. And as we go through, as Karthik now will actually join in to take us further and deeper into this system, I'm sure these points will be more clear. And without me being boring anymore, I think Karthik, you should come in. You are the man who understands and talks about it. So Karthik, off to you.
Thank you so much, Prabir. So as Prabir said, well, I just wanted to tell you that I might be the man of this session, but Prabir is will be the captain of the ship, as always. Uh, Thank you again, Prabir, for covering the major topics, and you brought more value towards the conversation. So I'll also take some opportunity to discuss more about the challenges that have been faced by the chief information security officers in every organizations. And I will also talk about the value of AppNox and what are the solutions that we provide in order to address these kind of specific challenges. All right. These are a couple of challenges that has been faced by every CISOs in day-to-day work lives. The CISOs is in most of the organizations, they often struggle with merging security tools, causing inefficiencies in their operations, and most of the times, each tools often operates independently, which can also lead to complexities in managing or coordinating or integrating with these kind of solutions. And sometimes, causing overlaps in functionalities that can lead to increased time and efforts that spend on managing these kind of tools separately. But rather than efficiently addressing security threats and vulnerabilities. Then you've got, the team has to keep an eye on threats around the clock. That is literally very, very difficult. And that also needs a lot of techs, resources, and efforts. It's kind of a big challenge to maintain non-stop security monitoring with quick responses. Then we can talk about balancing security. The CISOs often encounter tasks that are aligned to do security measures with broader goals for their business. They must show how boost their business by making their operations very smoother and also with very low risk. That's one of the major challenges that they always have to face. And to talk about evolving threat landscape, it's quite a bit of an interesting topic though. The cyber landscape is continuously evolving with new kind of threats, right? It emerges regularly in day-to-day work life. This increasing risk of cyber attacks and potential impacts on banks is kind of a top concern for financial institutions, government organizations. And I'm not just talking about the financial institutions alone. I'm talking about like every industries. I recently came across an article, and I'm wondering like how many of you know that there is an online shop that sells services carrying out cybercrime, such as web injects. How crazy is that, right? These kind of web injects are pieces of malicious codes that can be used to manipulate and steal sensitive information from the victims who uses infected mobile applications. It could be Android devices or it could be iOS devices. I was reading those articles, and I also came across some statement that Malaysian government is actively taking measures towards these kind of threats by bringing new regulations and norms and supporting cybersecurity programs. That's where we would like to take this opportunity to explore the challenges that have been faced by every organizations, and we'd be happy to help to secure their mobile applications, avoiding the digital threats. And the bottom line is, yeah, to protect against these evolving threats, every organization must ensure their security measures. That's pretty much about the challenges for the CISO. Let me just move on to the next slide. I will be talking about the next level team. So the challenges that would be faced by the IT managers, compliance officers, and system architects. All right. When it comes to data security, all right. So everyone knows that data is everything in this digital world now. So I'll quickly talk about what are the value that AppNox can bring in towards these kind of major challenges. All right. So AppNox helps to strengthen your defenses against any potential threats to sensitive corporate data and mobile applications. You might wonder how. Let me also tell you that our platform helps to find the vulnerabilities even before the application is getting released. With our comprehensive security assessments that can be done less than 60 to 90 minutes, you can ensure that your application is secure even before you push the application to the online stores. I'll be definitely talking about more about the platform when I'm going into the next slides, talking about our offerings. But yeah, covering these major challenges. Let's talk about vendor lock-in. So the organization doesn't really have to be very particular on following or tying up with one particular vendor. That's one of the promises that AppNox can give. And you don't really need an expertise for the setup or the maintenance. AppNox provides and simplifies mobile application security, making it very easier to maintain. And again, so when it comes to cost, the plans are very much affordable and tailored to business needs, every business. And also, AppNox ensures a smooth user experience and trouble-free installations. And speaking of which, I just wanted to make a quick note that this platform is available both in subscription model as well as in the on-premise deployment mode. Yeah. So let me quickly move on to the next slide. So these are the third level team, the major team, the challenges faced by the mobile developers or it could be the pen testers. All right. I'll talk about the value we provide firstly. So these are the major challenges that they would be facing in the day-to-day work life. So talking about the cross-platform compatibility. All right. So with AppNox, you can test and secure mobile applications across different operating systems and devices, right? And also AppNox tests mobile applications for every weak spots in different network situations, making the applications even more secure. All right. And we always keeps apps up to date and compliant with the latest OS versions that we'll keep updating ourselves in a monthly basis. And then again, the platform simplifies script executions as well by providing user-friendly tools, making the entire testing process smooth and accessible to every pen testers with the organizations. So on the whole, so these challenges will tell you how important that the mobile application security is in this digital world for every organization. And as you know, nowadays we are all aware that the mobile applications and devices are becoming an integral part of our daily lives, having sensitive data and personal data. So as like Prabir mentioned, if the organization, uh, sorry, someone raised any questions? Prabir, am I audible to you?
I can hear you loud
Yeah,
and clear.
great. So yes, just to conclude a couple of pointers here. So as like Prabir said, in case if the organization is facing any security breaches, definitely that is going to affect the reputation of the organization. So which is why we always recommend every organization to follow with the new norms that is getting informed by the government entities and the local securities. And we need to keep improvising towards the automation, especially when it comes to security breaches. Yes. So moving on to the next slide, I would request Prabir to just talk about the importance of having mobile application security. Over to you, Prabir.
Thank you, Karthik. I hope everyone can hear me. That was interesting, Karthik. You look at this slide, everyone. I mean, I was talking about the negative impacts of app security, and this is basically the same, but it's on a different level of looking at it. How you look at it, the perspectives of it. You see, what exactly is the importance of mobile app security? On a positive note, these are mandatory issues in any IT security or app security or whatever you call it as a being precise. It's the the most important part of any security operation is that why is it important? That's the first question that comes to your mind. So these were all negative points we were talking about. Now you look at it in a different way. It's all about data protection. You have to confirm, we have to confirm as security people that data protection is there. We have to make sure that the user trust is there. That's part of the business, that's part of the organization's philosophy, vision, mission, everything. And we have to make sure that the app that we deliver or the app that we run continues and maintains that user trust all along. It's all business. End of day, if the business is not there, we are not there at all. None of us are IT security business people. No one is. So user trust is definitely the most important factor in this business, app security, app business. So user trust is there. Reputational management, the company's reputation, the image. You must have seen stories of breaches in different areas coming out. And you can also understand the reputation the damage of reputation that goes along with it. This organization has been breached, and you think about that organization automatically in a very negative way. That's why probably many of the organizations do not even want to reveal a breach sometimes. Why? What exactly are they afraid of? The first thing they are afraid of is their reputation. The second is their user trust. That's why many of the organizations do not want to talk about it also. You must have seen that Booking.com was recently breached, and business like Booking.com, they refuse to accept and reveal that they have been attacked and they have been breached. Finally, they had to, but they were worried about their reputation. That's why these delays happen. Of course, there is financial security. Your app generates and transacts in money. So financial security is a very important part of that security. Regulations, of course, you have to answer. You have to have your certifications, your audits are done. Regulatory compliance is there in IT security by law and by practices. If you are a financial organization, then definitely you have to report to the central bank. That's the regulatory authority for banks. And they have a compliance list that these compliance like ISO or SWIFT or CSP certifications, this is also a compliance factor. And that compliance ensures that your data is protected, user trust is there, reputational management is there, and financial security is there. That's the whole idea of a regulatory compliance anyway. So everyone is protected, the customers are protected, you are protected, and all these factors of data, user, reputation, they're all protected along with it. So the compliance factor is part of the regular job process anyway. And then, of course, the organization, when they're launching an app or they're running an app or doing business on an app, they need their business to continue. That's the whole idea of launching an app that they want to do business. The app goes down, it's breached. You not only lose your data or your user trust or reputation, you lose your business continuity. Imagine if Lazada or Shopee had a major breach in their app. their business goes down with it. It's all based on that app they're running. So business continuity for many and moving forward in the very near future for many businesses, it will be all about apps and business. Business run on apps. And that's where business continuity comes in. I think if I may move on to the second one.
Yes. Yes.
So the question comes, what are exactly the best practices for mobile app security? There must be a practice. It's not just putting in solutions. It's not just training up people to run some software or something just to maintain that mobile application security. What are exactly the best practices? And that's again, it all relates to the previous slide that how do we protect our data, our users, our reputation and finances and business continuity and regulatory compliances. So what would be the best practices for mobile app security? Number one would be source code encryption. Two would be penetration testing all along. The third would be secure the data in transit, the transactional data to secure that. Then, of course, file level and database encryption would be required. Use the latest cryptography, right? High level authentication. Of course, I'm sure most of you have that in place, but these are all part of the practice for maintaining a mobile app security. Secure the backend and minimize the storage of sensitive data. So these are best practices that are in place for mobile app security. Going forward, Karthik would actually be talking about AppNox now and explaining how AppNox, materializes that and makes that happen. Off to you, Karthik.
Yes, thank you so much, Pravya. That was really, really interesting, the topics. So I would like to again thanks for everyone. Thank you everyone for listening all the way now. And on this slide, I would like to talk about AppNote. So basically, who we are, where are we from, and what our offerings are. And I will also talk about what is the value that having the solution in place. So yeah, talking about AppNox, who we are is that we are a cybersecurity company, majorly focusing on mobile application security testing. And what we do is that we help business in order to detect and fix security vulnerabilities using a mission plus human-based approach in order to secure 360 degree of assessment in real time. And as a flagship offering, what we provide is a on-demand plug-and-play tool that will help the security engineers to find the vulnerabilities less than 60 to 90 minutes of time and literally shorten their manual process. That's the major goal. And talking about our presence, so AppNox is being found back in 2014, and our company is headquartered in Singapore, and we have got around 60 plus members team now, working in our offshore area that is in India, and we have gained around 500 plus clients working with multiple verticals. So let me just pick up a couple of major clients that we work with in the APAC market. So we are working with Singapore Airlines, one of the leading customer that we have from the airlines industry. We are working with Toning Bank, covering some major banks, and we are working with international SOAs, and to just cover a couple of major customers like Malindo Air or Bank Mandiri from Indonesia, or from APAC, I could say, Ministry of Commerce from Saudi Arabia, Sajak Islami Bank, Gulf Air. It goes on. So the point is, we kept growing ourselves in a continuous way, and especially after this COVID, we have seen an incredible growth. And our platform is Gartner and G2 recognized platform, and we follow all the global standards, starting from mobile OWASP top 10, or let's say PCI DSS, HIPAA, GDPR, and we have got around 7 plus global standards that stays compliant with the platform. Yeah. So moving again to the offerings, what we provide as a flagship offering, like I mentioned. So vulnerability assessment is a automated tool that we provide, and the penetration testing is a extended service that we provide. Under vulnerability assessment, these are the three major security techniques that we follow. So in the previous slides, you have seen what are the methods that will help the security engineers to make sure that their security is even more protected, right? So talking about this AppNox tool, like I mentioned, AppNox tool is available both as a SaaS platform and as well as an on-premise platform. When it comes to the cloud offering, so we cover SAST, that is static application security testing, dynamic application security testing, along with API security testing, all under one roof. So as you might already know, what these assessments will do, but let me just give you a quick high-level understanding about what our platform does, covering these assessments in real time. So basically, when the user would like to secure their mobile application, even before releasing their application into the online stores, all right, all they have to do is they just have to upload the binary file. So our platform doesn't get access to any of the confidential data. That means source codes, includes the source codes. So we do not get access to it. This is more of a binary level access. So when the user is uploading the binary file into the platform, the static scan automatically gets triggered. There is no human intervention needed. And all the major issues of the mobile application build will get detected, and you'll be able to get the reports in multiple formats in the dashboard, which will also give you remediation support. So that is more of a examples, code examples that the platform will provide to fix those issues. All right. So all the major function, vulnerabilities gets picked up in the static scan. But whereas the dynamic scan, that little bit dive deeper into your application layer, dives more deeply into finding the threats, more from a hacker's point of view, and it will run on a real-time device. We do not actually use any emulators or simulators like the open source tools in the market. What it actually does is, when the user is uploading the binary file and performing the dynamic scan, that specific application of yours will get installed on a physical device form where you can interact with the application directly, like overseeing the application more from a functional point of view and getting the assessment done. Simple as that. All right. And then you have an option to capture all the third-party APIs in the API security testing. So it could be any internal APIs or third-party APIs. It could be captured, and you can, perform these three security assessment less than 60 to 90 minutes. And on a quick note, they have got around 140 plus test cases, which will be carried out during every assessment that the user is performing. All right. So this is just a quick brief of the vulnerability assessment that we provide as an offering, flagship offering. And apart from VA part, the vulnerability assessment, we also give additional benefit of penetration testing. That is a detailed, penetration testing, manual testing. So our security engineers will dive more deeply, more from a hacker's point of view, and get the job done for you. So as a flagship offering, we are providing the complete assessment as a bundle as well. It's more of a VAPT services that we provide. Yes. And apart from this, we have brought two new enhanced features to the platform very, very recently. One of it is a tool, is a feature, which is a very on-demand feature currently flowing in this market. It is nothing but software bill of materials. Just to give you a quick high-level understanding about this particular feature that we have. This will help the organization with more enhanced transparency towards the component level testing. So it basically finds what are the ingredients that has been used in your mobile application build, and it will tell you how many vulnerabilities that has been found and how you will be able to fix it. All right. So this will give you more enhanced transparency towards the entire supply chain activities and keeping your application even more secure. That's the major goal of this particular feature. And then again, lastly, we have store monitoring. This is nothing but the add-on feature that will help to find the unscanned versions that is available in the online stores. right? And also in the roadmap, we have got some other exciting features. For example, we have got CISO dashboard for the exclusive dashboard for the chief information security officers that will give more transparency towards the analytics that's being brought in next couple of weeks. And we'll be also having an Play Store and Apple Store integration where the user can easily just copy paste the URL from the online stores and get the assessment done. It would be a very, very easy integrations. And we have also got DAST automation in case the organization would like to get into more automation without any human intervention. It is available with us. All right. So that is a quick brief about the offerings that we provide. And let us move on to the questionnaires. And I would like to take a moment and thank you everyone for patiently listening to our conversations, our points that we have brought in. I hope this could be very valuable for any requirements that you have in the VAPT. So let's quickly move on to the questionnaire sessions. I've got one question from Nick.
Okay. Would you want to describe the question also, so others can hear about it?
Yeah, so Nick was questioning about, does AppNox utilize any machine learning to detect any suspicious patterns and identify vulnerabilities that traditional scanning techniques might miss? So to answer,
Okay.
I've already answered your questions, but just to quickly address it here over the communication here. So that is why we provide a detailed penetration testing as a part of the bundle. So like I explained towards the demonstration, the VA part, right, the vulnerability assessment part, we will be carrying out around 140 plus test cases, which will try to find every loopholes and every threats that has been associated with your mobile application build. In the background, it will capture everything A to Z. And you also have the benefit of detailed penetration testing as well. That will also dive more deeply to find what are the vulnerabilities on a hacker's point of view. So the complete assessment will be done. And most importantly, the false positive rates that AppNox has is less than 0%. I mean, it is close to 0% now. So that will give you more accurate results compared to other products in the market. Right? I hope I've answered your questions.
Yes,
In
yes.
case if there are any detailed information that you need, we can always have a discussion on a separate channel, and we'll be happy to assist more.
Yes, even on a data instance, one-to-one, any questions, just give us a call or shoot an email. We'll be happy to answer.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Thanks for the question. Any more questions? I'll be happy to answer.
I think no more questions, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabir. And thank you everyone for taking the valuable time on this wonderful session. Have a great day again.
Thank you.